Welcome everyone to my 3-part tutorial series. This is probably going to be my final tutorial series. I've already done 2 other ones, but this is probably not the best I'm going to get, but probably one of the closest I'm going to get. And this I'm going to show you a part by part way to go. So first of all, you want to go. You can either decide to do your map yourself or to go on maps for mappers. And if you want to do a map for yourself, you can. You can ask people how to do them. It's pretty easy. Now, for maps for mappers, there's different space map, polandball maps, stuff like that. I'm going to use the map for mappers single one, and I'm going to go for world maps. Now, you want to find a pretty good map. So I know which map I'm going to choose, so I'm just going to go to it right away. And this is the map we're going to use. But I think we would rather take maybe a better map. Let's find it. This one with no white things. So before you take the map, you don't just you go to see full size image. Now when opening it into see full size image, it will open up. It might take a second because I am recording. So there you go. You can see the full size image. You can see how it looks, and usually it doesn't tell you. Now you can you right click on it and you can either save it. I'm in French, so this is save as, or copy. Usually I copy. You can save it as. So I'm just gonna copy it, and then you want to Control V, paste it, and of course, if the canvas is smaller, you want to expand the canvas. So there you go. I'm gonna use a lot of keybinds because I'm used to that, but I'm gonna show you how to do it. So then if you copied it, you want to save it as. I would save it as. I'm gonna save it at world map. And see, I already have the imperfection fixed. That I'll show you guys later. But I'm just gonna world map 2, and I'm gonna save it in the paint.net format. If you use paint.net, of course. Now all the things I'm showing you might not work in Photoshop, but this is the paint.net version. So we're gonna save it. And if you want, you can save a PNG version, but you don't need it right now. So first off, I'm just going to show you a little part of the map and things you need to do. This is things you're going to need to do all over the map, but I'm just going to show you a section. So this section we're going to choose is Canada because I come from Canada, so might as well just do that. If you want to get these things on the side here, like I did, they're up here. Use the tool, the history. Layers. So layers is the layers, of course. Tools is that little toolbar over there. The history is this one. It's important to see what you've done so far and stuff like that. And the colors is very important actually. I always have this open all the time. If you want to be in dark mode like me, you go into settings, it opens up, and you can use the user interface. I don't really remember where it is. I think it's color scheme. Dark. Light. I have it at default as dark. Anyways, so I'm going to use the whatever. You want to use the select tool and select just the part of the map you want. Now you don't have to do this all the time. By the way, the map size is down here, over here near Brazil. As you can see, it's 5,000 by 2,000, which is a pretty good map size, of course. Maybe you want it bigger, but I think this is okay for now. So we're going to get a bit of Greenland, but that's because we want all of Canada, and we don't really need all of Alaska, but we're going to keep parts of Alaska. And we're going to do crop to selection, which will destroy the rest of the map, and just do this. So now we've done part 1. Part 2 is to select the water. Now, why do you want you want to remove the water because you don't need it on the same one as the background. So you want to do shift, and you want to click. And that'll allow the water. And of course you can see that we didn't pick all of the water. You see there's some little, and that's because the map has imperfections. Most maps on Maps for Mappers will have imperfections. Like I said, if you don't want to correct these and you want to do something else, you can do your own maps, but this might take longer in different aspects. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to up the tolerance to 18 at least, and now I'm going to press Control Shift, which will add it to the selection, and it will add more. Now, adding the tolerance to 18% will select more of the colors you choose, because it'll filter less out. If it's at 0%, it will choose nothing that is similar, and if it's at 18%, it will choose a little bit more. 100% will choose anything that slightly resembles the picture, the color. Like, I chose dark green sometimes, and it chose the black borders as well. So you want to keep doing that until you have everything. And you want to watch out for everything. As you can see, out right here, there's a little white one. You want to select that. Now on a bigger map, this might change other borders, so you want to watch out for that. But on this map, it doesn't seem to have any borders that resemble anything to white, so you might be good for this map. I just want to make sure that everything is selected. Just skim around the map, but after doing a couple of clicks with this design, you should be fine. I'm going to look around the map just a little bit more. Maybe there's something that I missed. It doesn't seem I missed anything. Now, what you want to do is you want to create another layer. You can call it whatever you want, but you want to slide it under, I call it water. Okay, now you want to go back to the background one, because it will automatically set you to the water one. You want to control, and to change things, you can either double click for layer properties, or click the little wrench up down here. So you want to go back to the background and control X, which will cut out all the water. And then you want to put it on this water one. Boom. Easy. Now what you want to do is you want to select the colors. I already have a color palette. It's not on here because I don't have my old ones. But you see there's different color palettes that you can choose. Now I do have one, so I'm just going to get that color up. So I'm just going to choose this one that I have right here for this one. I'm just going to select the color. If you really want the color and hexadecimal code, it's right here. You enter that in, that will give you the color that I have right now. And you can either do just shift bucket, but that won't really work. And even the shift click won't really work. So what I just do is I put the paintbrush up to like 2000 and just do this thing, and there we go. Now as you see, there was a little problem with the thing. I didn't see that Greenland was chosen, but for this one we will remove Greenland. It's not really important, so we're just going to do this, and we're going to remove Greenland efficiently, so it's not in this one. And of course, that just left a dirty thing. So what we're going to do is for here. Now, we're going to explain this. You probably will just want to color everything into the watercolor. You don't want to just choose something. What this does is that if there's a problem in the map, you will know you'll know faster because it'll just show up on the camera. And there you can see Greenland disappear. Now it's now that was the easy part. It was pretty easy, honestly. It didn't take much time. As you can see, I missed some dots, so I'm going to collect those right away so that I don't forget them. I'm just going to Control X and Control V because everything's filled up, as you can see. But you always want to you always want to Control X that water part so it looks cleaner. Now the hard part. As you can see, the map has tiny imperfections inside and near the borders. As you can see, it's not the same color as the inside. This is the inside, and these are imperfections. So what I'm going to do is you want to fix those imperfections. How you do it is you go on the background layer, again, and you want to choose those imperfections. You shift-click and control shift-click. And those will add it slowly and surely. Now you see I've mostly picked every imperfection. Because my tolerance was at 18, which is the perfect tolerance for this. You don't really want any other layer. Now you can choose more, but you might watch out, as these ones are there for a reason. But I'm just going to make sure, as you can see, these little ones on the side are a different shade, and you want to collect those. Just make sure that everything is perfect. Now we're going to do Canada. I'm not going to do the US. The US is down here. And they're a different color, but that's what is good about this map. This map is different colors, so it helps you distinguish something that you'll see later. You can see I didn't pick these imperfections. Oh, I did. It's hard to tell when you're not in the selection tool. But it seems I have picked everything. So now what you're going to do, if you choose this map, you want to go inside and choose the most perfect color, which is this one. And then what you're gonna do is you already have everything selected. So now you want to put it at 2000 and just pass your brush over it. Just do a little bit clean brushes swipes and you're good. And then go look inside. See, it's perfect, and now it's one mark, which is exactly what you want. Now I won't fix Alaska and the U.S. Because it'll take much more work that I don't really need to do right now. Of course, if you use the world map, you want to do this, and if you use this map and you want to make sure that you have an integral part of the story, you want to correct also the U.S. I'm just not doing it here. On my other world map that I have chosen, I have done it. And you want to Control S to save, or you can just save like this. You want to save it at least at every big part. I forgot to do it at the water part, but you probably want to do it here. Now we're going to go for the important part. I chose this map for one particular reason. There's regions. Regions are very important. They're important piece deals. They make things look clean and simple, and they make things look good. Now this has more regions than what, as a Canadian, I would call a region, but it is perfect, and I don't want to touch it. It's beautiful. So we're gonna do a little thing called a fixing. Now, around here it seems kind of weird, but I think this is actually what it looks like. It's just because usually on maps you don't see the river. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do regions. Now you want to add a file and call it regions. You don't have to call it regions. I'm just gonna call it regions because I like to name my files to make sure I know where everything is. It's easier this way instead of just looking at 30 files and finding it at the last second. So, let's do it. So first of all, you want to zoom in and choose the borders. Now, on this map, the borders are, again, a bit different. So, watch out, I'm in the region folder. If I choose the region, it'll only select a part, even if I shift-click. So you want to watch out. You see these parts? They're a different shade of black. Now, what I did on my other map is I made sure that every border was black, so it would be easier to choose them. You can do that. You don't need to, but I did it. As you can see, these ones are different because they're from the US, so they're a bit more blue-ish, as you can see. These ones you don't really need to select if you don't want to. You just want to select the inner ones, and I'll show you why. So make sure that all of them are selected. If they're not selected right now, you can select them later. No big deal. Okay, and what you want to do is you want to choose a color that no other country has right now, and you want to we're going to choose lime green. Why we're going to choose lime green is very simple. Lime green is not used, and it's better we're going to be able to color pick it later. We're going to be able to pick it later for something. Now, I did realize there was a little mistake up here. As you can see, this parts of the map were chosen. So we're going to shift-click Control and choose them with the magic wand and do that. We're going to do all of the border. We're going to do all the regions inside of Canada. Not the border ones. You don't want to do the outside ones, and you don't want to do the ones connecting to the US, and I'll show you why. Now, for the lakes, I didn't explain that. For the lakes, you can choose which one you want to do. Do you want to do outside the lake, or do you want to do inside the lake? I choose to do outside. It defines the lake a bit better, but you do have to do some adjustments when that happens. But yeah, if you want to do, you can do the inside the lakes, and that's completely up to you. I don't do it because it's kind of unnecessary, in a way. The lakes are well defined better this way, so you can see where all the lakes are. Lakes don't really have an impact on defining borders, anyways. They're mostly inside two borders all the time, so it's easier this way to do it. Now, here's a different choice. For the borders, what I'm doing is very normal, but if you want to do different regions that are more defined, maybe you only want to choose, like example, the U.S. states, they have borders inside the states, but if you want to do like, states get independence, then you may want to color the borders differently to mean different colors differently. Now, if you are an expert at World's Map, you can do that. I don't feel the need. You don't need to do that, of course. I don't feel the need to do it because, let's be honest, if I separate the countries and I know the borders, like, I think the only two countries that really have provinces that are defined and are executed is Canada. I know I know the UK has different regions inside of it, like Wales, Scotland, and stuff like that. And I know like France has Brittany and Corsica that could be separated. But is there really a different way to do it? I don't believe so. I don't believe it's needed. So I'm just gonna do it the way I think it is, and I'm just gonna roll with it, because you can just separate. After that, you can just separate the countries. After that, you can just separate them however you want, easily. Yeah, like, oh, Ontario stole a piece of Quebec, and Quebec's not happy. That you can use that as a justification of war, which can be pretty useful if you think about it. Now I'm going to talk about my three part of the series right now. I want to do maybe more than a 3-part, but I want to do a 3-part series that will be pretty comprehensive. Now, one of those will be a country ball. Right now I'm doing the basics of mapping. I might do more than 3 parts, like to help you out with the story and stuff if you want to really do, which will be like my advanced guide. This one is the basic guide, and then there's my pre-advanced guide, and then there's my advanced guide, which will focus more on different elements of the map and stuff like that. But my basic guide is just to show you. And then there'll be a country ball guide to show you different country balls that you might have difficulties with, which I don't know if I'll do a stream for that, but I don't think I need to do a stream for that. I think I just need, you know, do a basic video of just do a basic video where I just do different country balls that may be difficult, and I'll just choose them, and I'll show you how to do each one and how to do the different properties, you know, stuff like that. As you can see, some of these borders are circling around little red squares. That's normal. Most maps that you don't make will have that. I like to keep the borders in. This isn't really a big problem. It's mostly true in maps. It's mostly true in real maps because when provinces are separated, some pieces of lands aren't given to these provinces. So what you can do is, if you really want to separate provinces equally, you can give the piece of land to the province you think it should have, or I should say region, I guess. We have provinces in Canada, so provinces are territory. Should be more clear. You can do whatever you want. Honestly, it's not my choice. It's not my choice to say, hey, give it to the bigger. You can give it to whoever you want. If you want less, if you separate the countries into regions, if you don't separate the countries later on, or you don't feel like you will, well then do whatever you want. Honestly, I couldn't care less. It's honestly up to you. I mean, I couldn't care less, honestly. You do you. I'm just trying to help you guys to see what I do, right? Like, it's not my choice. Now, if you have these little problems, just choose to say, right, instead of left clicking like you've done this entire time, you right click and then you'll choose the second color. If you have a different mouse setup, I'm sorry for your existence. Your existence is pain, and I acknowledge it. I don't know why you wouldn't have it on, though, on a PC. And yes, this is a PC version. By the way, a lot of people have been telling me when they want to download P.net, you have to pay for the Windows 10 version. That's false. There is a version that you can pay for if you really want to get so many creators, but there is a free version. Now, I won't show you because I don't need the field to show you, but I will not show you because I just don't want to. I'm lazy like that. Gotta be honest with you guys, I'm lazy. So we're doing every region slowly. I think I'm gonna do a cut here to the final product. Okay, so I think I'm done. Now I haven't explained some things that I did want to explain mostly before I come back to them later. If you do skip out on doing something early on, it will bite you back in the ass later on. So you want to choose all the regions, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, and you want to do Control X and move them to the region folder, Control V, And make sure they line up. Tasty, tasty. There we go. Make sure it's lined up closely. Sometimes they have little imperfections, but it seems to be lined up perfectly. Then, in the region folder, you want to make them all black, and I will explain to you why. Make them all dark black, or, I guess darker dark, I guess, if you really want to. It should be all black. If they're not black, you can come back later to it. And then, the properties, you want to change it to a different level. 100 is good. And what we'll do is we'll make it look a little bit transparent. Now it's blue because usually under, you're removing parts of the background. So it'll look like the water under. So you want to choose the color, get a big brush, do it like this, and if we exit out, ta-da, regions. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. If you don't do this right now, it'll be back later in the ass later, or it'll just look disgusting as well. It won't look pretty. This is the way to look pretty. Now, let's go on to the big parts. Country balls. You want to do a complete different folders for this. One of the person on my server did not do a complete different folders for this, and it didn't end up well. Gotta be honest, it really didn't end up well. Now, if you have made country balls, I will show later. You can just copy them and paste them onto the ball. You can change their size if they're too big, as you can see right here, and they look good. Easy. If you have a country that is obstructing one of your main countries that you put up first, you might want to do a different folder for them. I have this, actually I will show you really quickly on this. Where's my PDN? Just a different, there we go, a PDN folder. As you can see, I have the country balls. Right here, I have Bolivia and Uruguay, Honduras, Venezuela, Nicaragua, and Brazil, because they all interfered with the main one. And save. Easy peasy. Now, it doesn't look correct because USA's in there. Now, we're going to add different things. The text box. The text box has to be above the country balls for different reasons. I won't get too much into it, but let's say you want to make. Now, you see, there's no space here. If I were to put a box right here, it would cover up space. So what you want to do is you want to do image. You want a canvas size. The canvas will open behind it, so it's 1,300, which is pretty good for a map, actually. And we'll do 8,000. That adds 500 spaces. Now, mostly you want to make it white under it. Easy peasy. You can keep it black if you want. You can make it beige as well. Beige looks better. And then, when you're done, when you do that, you can make lines like this. Like example, let's say, I don't know, 5 width looks pretty good. Yeah, 5 width looks pretty good. So you can add, this is the one for separating the text. There's the one for the name of the country right up here. No, this is way too small. And then the country goes in here, and the year goes here. Example. And then the alliances are down here. And there's a big space for alliances, because you can add like 20 of them in one episode. Easy again. No hard. And then here, you want to add a text folder. Now, you want to add a text folder because if you choose a different format for your boxes, like I do in mine, it's not the same color. So you want to choose a text folder so that it doesn't mess up. You might have some problems with the text folder later on by forgetting to be on the text folder, and that may be a problem. You can fix that pretty easily. As you can see, I did it in the text box, and I have no colors because I chose the text color, and that's a problem. You want to make sure they're all cornered as well. So now you got that going, but now it kind of hurts a bit the eyes, don't you think? It looks a bit too bright for me. So, we're going to do the greatest thing, a shadow folder. Yes, yes, yes. Shadow folder. I did a problem here. You can fix it pretty easily by just you can just cut it out. You can just do this. Select the part that you already have and just crop it like selection. Easy peasy. And if you got more to remove, you can just do it again. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, like I said. Okay. Oh yeah, for the image. So I'll show you the right way to do it. You want to choose where you want to expand it. So let's say you just want to expand it over here. You do like this, and it will only put it here. If you want to do it like this, it'll expand on the two sides and up mostly. Down, left. So just choose the one you want. make sure. Okay. Shadow. No, it's shadow. Only W. So you want to choose the rectangle one, the draw fill shape, and use the black. And just do this. And what you want to do is you want to reduce the shadow, the opacity. Like this. Now it looks darker. It's a bit easier on the eye, but it looks too dark. So you just want to light it up a little bit. But it still looks a bit darker. It's easier on the eyes for somebody that's watching this. You don't want to blind your viewers. You just want to make them sure that they understand the storylines and shit like that. Now that's not the end of it. The last thing I want to show you is how to do shadows. Now, shadows on my country. What I mean by shadows on my countries is, let's take the example of this one again. These little things around it. It makes it look a little cooler. So, how do you do this? Now, you need a plugin for this. So, I'm going to try to go get it. Grid Warp. That's right. Cool. Now, you don't have it. Of course, it's not going to be any. But, let me try to search it up organically. Grid. Let me spell it right, of course. Grid Warp. Paint.net. Right there. It's Paint.net. Paint.net. It's the first one. Paint.net forums. You want to go right here. Easy. It's right here. You just want to download it from the plugin set. Download it, and it'll add you some pretty cool things, like the grid warp. But it adds more than this. One of the things it adds is, as you can see, if I go into the effects, each time there's a little piece of like a puzzle. That means it's an added one. We're gonna go to the object, an outline object. You can see it already did a little bit of effect because it's already. You want to do a dark one. As you can see, it adds a little dark. The width you want to put it to the max, and the softness to the max. And look, it makes this cool little thing. You can make the width a little smaller, I think. It can look a little bit better, maybe. It can look a little bit different, that's for sure. You can do a little less one, you know, with the width. The softness, if you put it down to 1 of softness, it does this, which looks way darker. So, I usually keep it at, and you can do, boom. And now it does a little cool little shadow around your things. And that can be pretty cool. You can do it to the regions as well, I'm pretty sure. And it adds a little dark shadow to it. Yeah, it's okay, you know. You can add a better one later on. Like, I just did repeat outline objects, so let's go objects again. Let's add a width that's a bit higher and the softness a bit lower. Oh, that makes it look real dark. Yeah, it makes it look real dark. You learn how they add shadows right here? No, that just completely destroys it. Okay. I've got to remove this little part. Anyways. Now, I'm going to explain why you did it like this. Because I separated the water in the background. That's the thing, people. You want to separate them. Now, before I finish this off, I already have my tool set, everything preset on my computer. So I will explain to you some things that you want to do. First of all, you want this to be anti-aliasing disabled. It will start as enabled. As enabled, you want it disabled. And I'll explain to you why. Let me show you real quick. Let me grab the pencil. The pencil is usually just 1 bar. Like this, right? But of course it doesn't have anti-aliasing, so let's use the paintbrush instead. Now this is enabled, and this is disabled. It looks worse with it enabled. Enabled is the one with the little thing around it, and it's going to make your job way harder if you choose that one. It just will, and I'll explain to you why. Let's say you want to color in a country, right? Let's say you want to color. If you do it with this one, easy peasy. It'll choose all of it. If you want to do it with this one, you have to color every different one. You have to put the tolerance 100, which, if you put it at 100, it's not pretty. You got to put it at like 50. And even then, you need a 57. And then it'll ruin the rest of your map. So it's not important to do it. You don't want to do that. is very important. So, you want to do enabled. Anything other I missed, if you want, and this is up to you, if you want, you can put your hardness higher. I put it at 75. It's perfect that way. You don't want to change it mostly. Tolerance, will start at 50%. So if you want to change it to 0 or 18, you have to do it yourself. I'm going to talk to you about sampling real quick. Image and layer. Layer will only choose the layer you're on, and image will choose the whole thing. So if I choose this one, it's on a different layer, but it'll choose it as well. Layer will just choose the whole layer. Anything else I really want to talk to you about? No, but I'll show you a cool trick. By separating a region on a different folder, you can draw, and it won't affect it. Now, I did a dark color, so that didn't really show, but you can see, orange, it's under, the regions are on top. You can change the ways that folders are. Like, this is all water, and regions is still under it, so it only shows what stuff. That's pretty interesting. CBS, you can... Now you can't see it because it's under the water. If you put it over the water, you can see it. So yeah, country balls have an important place of where you put them. You probably want them. Country balls you probably want on the fourth file after regions. That's the basics of mapping. This can start you out your pretty simple series. It's nothing big really. In the next episode, I will show you how to do wars, how to do zoom-ins on specific parts, and how to separate regions after you've done them. Now, I'm going to go back in my history, as you can see, and I will remove the second outline. No, so I will go back to the outline and drop the first one. You see, it got a bit lighter, and I will save it. Nothing else I really need to change. Everything was just moving layers, bucket, showing you things. That's fine. Anyways, in the next episode, I will show you a more advanced tool set. Maybe I'll show you wars, zooming in, and maybe separating regions later on into the life. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.